Hey guys, I'm back here to talk about my life that nobody cares about. Well, I wrote down a couple stuff that I wanted to talk about because I first tried to film this without any structure or without any preparation, but I was just zoning out and not really focusing on what I wanted to talk about. So I'm back here again trying to properly say what I wanted to say. Well, first of all, I wanted to talk about how my relationship with Instagram has changed. A couple of weeks ago, I've been posting on Instagram nonstop, on my Instagram story. I used to post 10 stories a day. And now looking back, well, I understand why I did that because I wanted attention, right? I wanted validation from my friends or something. I wanted people to know that I was having fun and I was cool and I know all these cool songs because I would always post a song with my Instagram stories. But at this point, I'm like, does that all matter? Looking back, Instagram stories only last 24 hours and people forget about it. People only view it for a millisecond and then skip it, right? So what is the point of all that? Why am I putting so much time and energy obsessing over that, right? Nobody even watches that stuff. I don't even have that much followers. So I guess instead of putting the focus on what other people think of me, I should really just focus on what is good for myself. Just doing anything that's bettering myself instead of worrying about what other people think about me, right? So these days I haven't been posting on Instagram at all or going on Instagram in general. I just don't open the app. I hid it from my main screen. So it's in the separate section. You have to scroll 2 pages in my phone to find Instagram. And also since I haven't been on Instagram that much, my algorithm is just all screwed up. It used to be all Hayden Christensen or art stuff, all interesting stuff that I found really engaging. But these days there's been a lot of OnlyFans stuff. Why does that keep popping off my feed? Well, sometimes I just watch that because it's fascinating as a woman for me to watch other women be that exposing of themselves, you know? How are they comfortable doing this? How are they comfortable showing their face and body like that? Anyway, well, that's that. That's the first section. And the next section is the constant war between IDGAF and GAF. This is kind of related to my battle with Instagram. Well, since I'm in London, there is a lot to see. And for the first few weeks, I've been going out nonstop. I've been going out to Soho and various places in London that have vintage clothing stores because that's my favorite place to go. Oh yeah, back at that time, I used to post everything on my Instagram story, right? Everything I saw, everything interesting I saw, and post cute selfies to show how much fun I'm having. But at the end of the day, nobody really cares. The only thing that really lasts is how much fun I have and how much memory I make during those moments. But to this day, I have been putting the focus on the value of the moment depends on how much people value that moment for me. Do you get what I mean? My happiness used to depend on how many people like my Instagram story. But why was I doing that? It's my life. I should be the one really enjoying the moment, not relying on other people's opinion to evaluate if I'm having a good time. I guess the true struggle here is being comfortable with being on myself, just having fun by myself. And I'm not even sad that I'm doing it alone, exploring London alone. I honestly like that because I like the flexibility. I can do whatever I want, whenever I want, and I don't have to think about other people's opinion. So I'm not complaining about that. It's just that it's the lack of validation, right? I just gotta be happy by myself and feel fulfilled by myself without I don't know. I'm like talking about the same thing over and over again. Next up, nothing matters. You know what? In between thinking like I should be happy by myself, I should be content with myself and what I'm doing with my life. You know, I have to accept the fact that nobody cares about my life as much as I do. And it's like in between, okay, well, screw everyone. I'm just gonna do my stuff and I don't care what anyone thinks of me. But also at the same time, since nobody truly cares about what I'm doing, then it's like, does anything I do matter? So I'm like telling you, I'm like constantly in between those sides. Another thing I've been noticing is that I've been like listening to old songs that I've listened back in, I guess, just last year. Especially listening to songs that I found out last year. It's still fresh in my mind. So the moment when that song finally hit for me, like I truly connected with the song, that becomes like a core memory in my mind. So I exactly know how I was feeling, what I was thinking in that moment when I was listening to that song. I was listening to Cigarettes After Sex just now and remembering how November and October went for me last year. The people that I was talking to back then no longer is in my life right now. So the only thing really left for me is myself. The only true companion in my life is myself. So I'm like, I'm going through all of these changes, but the only thing that's really left is myself. Am I making sense here? All of the things I did back then is no longer relevant in my life. I guess they were like build-up moments for my life right now. It helped me become who I am right now. Okay, that's about it for the existential kind of stuff. Now I'm gonna just talk about just living alone and how that affected me. Well, first of all, I'm like wearing the same clothing for 4 days straight and I haven't really done anything. Well, there is no clock in my room, so I really don't have a sense of time. I don't really look at the time in my phone or iPad or anything. I just exist in my room, and my only sense of time is like my window. I just chill in my bed and like I kind of meditate. I don't know. I rewatch all the videos I've filmed and just see who I'm becoming right now. And because I'm in this state, I don't really care about anything else that's going on in my life. I don't really care about schoolwork or like signing up for classes or my future. See, I'm like thinking about, does anything matter? I'm kind of lacking motivation right now. So I've been like procrastinating a lot of stuff. After I eat breakfast, I don't feel like washing the dishes. So it's left in my table for like 6 hours straight. And my clothing, they're like left on the floor. The jeans I wore like 4 days ago, they're still on the floor. And like at the end of my bed, there's like this empty section that has nothing in it. Before I go to bed, I put all of my clothing in my bed. And when I wake up, the clothing that I put on my bed are on the floor in that section. And I don't think the floors are clean, so I guess the clothing are dirty now. I guess it's like a struggle of learning to be happy with myself and not putting attention on what other people think of me. Well, that's about it. I have all of these thoughts that go through my head every day. And I think it's better to speak it out loud rather than suffer inside. I really don't know what to say at the end of videos. Well, have a good day then.